Hey guys, Coach Carly coming at you with a video on the importance of sleep. So the reason that we're doing this video is our March challenge at the gym is going to be to get enough sleep. And I wanted to reach out because I just took a class on population health and we talked about the importance of sleep and how actually only about 35% of Americans get 8 hours of sleep. And it's very, very important that we get sleep. So I'm going to start with poor sleep habits. What are some poor sleep habits that we want to try to avoid over the course of this challenge? And the first is the night owl mentality. Night owl mentality is I go to bed really late and I get up in the morning still early, except on weekends I sleep in maybe till like 10 or later. Okay, this night owl mentality alters your sleep-wake cycle. So it alters those circadian rhythms so that your body doesn't necessarily see as light being a time awake, dark being a time of sleeping. The problem with this is that you can't alter it really quickly. So if you're somebody that goes to bed at midnight and you're not going to be able to go to sleep at 9 because your body's not used to that. So over the course of this challenge, what we want to do is we want to increase your bedtime by 15 minutes. So if you go to bed at midnight, we want to do 11:45. Then the next night, 11:30, and then 11 until we gradually get you up to an hour that you are going to get that 8 hours of sleep. Super important, because if we don't have normal circadian rhythms, there's a ton of research out there on how it affects your nervous system. Nervous system for cognitive ability, but also athletic ability. So it will affect your performance in the gym if you don't get enough sleep. It also increases your cardiovascular risk. So stroke, heart attack, things like that. Even if you are getting exercise, if you're not getting enough sleep, you have a higher risk of a cardiovascular event. And age, it was not age dependent. So even the younger individuals can have a cardiovascular event with lack of sleep, continued lack of sleep. Another poor health habit we want to talk about is caffeine. We want to avoid caffeine 10 hours before bed. And the reason we want to do this is because caffeine stays in our system for a long period of time. Anything more than 10 hours before bed, and what we see it affects that deep REM sleep. So we never get into that restful recovery sleep. Along the same lines is alcohol consumption. So a lot of people think like alcohol has this effect that it's going to make you fall asleep. Well, it does initially. It has a sedation effect. But what research shows is in the latter half of the night, it actually alters your sleep-wake cycle and it actually increases your arousal. So what will happen is in the second part of the night, you'll fall out of that REM sleep and you will get the deep quality sleep that you need. So alcohol consumption, we want to decrease that before bed. Okay, and to affect long-term health. How does sleep affect long-term health? Well, first of all, the biggest research and the most research out there is that decreased sleep over time leads to obesity. So it leads to weight gain. Couple reasons why. First of all, if you're more tired, you're not going to work out at your fullest potential, or you may not even work out because you're tired. So that decreased activity, less calorie burn leads to obesity. The other reason is if we don't get enough sleep or consistently get that 8 hours, it'll decrease what is the production of the hormone called leptin. Leptin is a appetite suppressant, so it helps controls it. So if we don't get enough sleep, we don't have that appetite suppressant, we're going to eat more. But what also happens is it increases the hormone called ghrelin, and ghrelin is what makes us hungry. So not only do we have a loss of our appetite suppressant, we have an increase in our hunger drive. So that can lead to obesity, and that can affect your nutrition goals. It also, that continued lack of sleep, as I mentioned before, leads to long-term health issues, even if you are exercising. So increased risk of stroke, increased risk of heart attack, increased risk of diabetes. There actually is a lot of research on how it can increase the risk of a motor vehicle accident or occupational hazards. Consistent lack of sleep less than 6 hours is like driving at the legal limit. So you want to consider that our cognitive ability is affected when we don't have that long-term sleep. And the big one that you guys are probably all interested in is musculoskeletal injury. Lots of research out there on less than 7 hours of sleep will lead to musculoskeletal injury. Those individuals that consistently got about 6 hours of sleep compared to those who got 7 to 8 hours of sleep were 2 to 4 times more likely to have a musculoskeletal injury that would take them out of sport for a long time, meaning greater than 3 to 6 months, greater than those who slept the 8 hours. So again, less than 7 hours of sleep on a consistent basis, 6 to 7 hours of sleep on a consistent basis, led to a 2 to 4 times increased risk of musculoskeletal injury that led to prolonged loss of time in sport, up to 3 to 6 months. So just consider that. And over this next month, if you guys have any questions about sleep or how to improve your sleep habits, just talk to any of the coaches, because this is a true medical crisis in our country, and especially with the go mentality that if I am not working as hard as the next person, I'm not going to get ahead. It's more about time management, and we can help you with those time management skills in order to get the most out of your day and allow you to get that 8 hours of sleep. Good luck this March, guys.